Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of South Park, Tegridy Farm's Halloween Special. And I hated this episode. I think it is probably the worst Halloween special South Park has ever done. I didn't really find anything funny within this, and I was bored, and I'm just like, wow. I kind of had fun with the previous episode, and this was just complete. I mean, there were like some problems with the beginning episodes of South Park this season. If this had been the beginning, like this episode, I'd have been like, shut it down, it's done. Because I swear to God, there's just nothing in here that really worked. I didn't get drawn into really any of the stories. We got some rehashes of like the Pet Cemetery dude, and I mean that's fun because of the Halloween special, but used for barely anything, and it just wasn't good. I didn't enjoy watching it. If I didn't like if I was just listening to it and I didn't know any of the characters, I wouldn't have known I was watching a South Park episode. Really, it's just none of the jokes really worked. And the storylines were just not interesting. Now, granted, I also kind of attributed this to the fact that we're still doing the fucking Tegridy Farms shit. Which they even kind of mettily talk about throughout this episode, being like, we're gonna do whatever we want, even though we're kind of like bored and don't really care about what's going on. This is an episode that really exemplifies that I think that they just don't want to do South Park anymore. If that's the case, fine. Let somebody else do it. I understand that they're pretty much pivotal to it. Either, like, stop, just shut it down, and, like, have an end game point, or let other people do it. Like, groom them and let them do their own kind of shit. Hell, you could even rotate to different kind of casts of people. Now, granted, I understand that the creators are really baked into these characters, but God, this was just not even worth it. It's like Randy's still doing his shit, and it's just not even like funny Randy. We're still seeing him. His was pretty much, I'll say, the A storyline, because neither of these are able to take top billing, in my opinion. I wouldn't have even put these in as any kind of running joke in any actually really good South Park episode. But he is pretty much doing his Tegridy Farms Halloween special. Oh, and by the way, I did kind of like that they had Halloween themed the opening. It's still the fucking stupid Tegridy Farm shit, but that was at least intriguing. And it was funny to see Randy dance around in the president of China, his face mask. That was a little bit funny. Just it's like, oh yeah, haha. All right, that's kind of low bar, kind of basic, but okay. And he's just trying to do this weed thing. Shelly, of course, has a problem with marijuana because it's making dumb people already dumber. And I'm just like, they've just said, like, I didn't feel like Shelly was really any kind of character. They just made her into this force of like, I'm going to be anti-marijuana because Randy's doing all this stupid marijuana stuff. And the issue isn't really the marijuana. It's how he's going along. He's taken his family, uprooted them, put them on a farm, and doing the stupidest things possible to do his business. And he's like, fine, whatever. Get rid of your marijuana problem. I love you. And she's like, whatever. Fuck off. And the kind of ironic thing is she just wants to be left alone to do her shit, but she actively fucks with Randy's shit in this episode. Granted, they are both fucking with each other's shit, so that's both kind of warranted, but it comes into a zero-sum kind of game of like, alright, fine. Ugh. So he's doing all his stuff to pretty much get his shit together. Him and Tally are figuring out what to do and fusing their shit together. She decides to make some kind of weird ass concoction that she throws onto the Halloween special. I mean, like, I hate marijuana kind of shit. Fine, whatever. But Tally and Randy come back and see that it's actually grown into something. It's like, hey, we can still use this. It's like super weed. I'm like, yeah, just take something that a lot of random chemicals have been put on and just fucking smoke it. That sounds like a great fucking idea. Granted, repercussions come around, but again, they are uninteresting. And it half-asses going like the South Park route, because it does get kind of amped up, but then it's just pulled back down and you're like, God damn it. So they pretty much salvaged it, and evidently Sharon is supposed to take Stan trick-or-treating, and she wants to go to the book fair, and Randy's like, what the fuck? And she's like, fuck you, and pretty much breaks the weed, and he's like, God damn it, and he actually takes her to the police station to be put into jail to deal with her marijuana problem. Like, you both suck as human beings. And then her story pretty much syncs up with Butters. Butters went to a museum and was being cute little archaeologist Butters, just being like, oh, do. That started off funny enough. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see if Butters is just in his own head. But no, they were at a museum, and he decides to go in. This is where he syncs up with the Pent Cemetery dude near a mummy, because evidently this stamp is cursed with, like, forbidden kind of love shit. So Butters goes home, and then the mummy comes in and gives him gifts and shit. He's like, oh, I can give this to a friend or whatnot. Mummy freaks out and then goes and kills people, and it's all blamed on Butters. That's the whole fucking episode. The mummy does shit, and it's all blamed on Butters. We see the police be like, oh, you're going to be summoned in court because of what you do with the mummy. It's like, you're not even really hearing Butters' side, but whatever. Go to school. PC principal being PC, being like, oh, I don't want to see fucking sombreros, Native Americans, can't be hobos or low income. Cartman makes a jab at Kenny, of course. So I'm like, okay, that's a little spot. And don't want people being Moana and all this kind of shit. And then the mummy comes in and starts fucking tossing kids around. Butters tries to talk to Mackie about it, and he's like, whatever, I'm good. And like then everybody's siding with the mummy because that's about it. There's no back and forth with this shit. It's like, oh, the mummy's always right. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care about the mummy. I don't care. There's like no interesting conflict here because whatever Butters does really doesn't affect the situation, and the mummy just really kind of controls it, and it's just kind of like on the periphery, so we don't understand what the mummy's trying to do. It's not like we get some kind of inner thought process of what this mummy's trying to do. As Butters is complaining to the guys about it, kind of having fun, of course, then the mummy pops up like, ugh. It's like, what are you fucking doing here? So that's kind of where he syncs up with the others, because he puts himself into jail to, of course, be like, hey, the mummy's going to do some bad shit, and then I'll be in jail, and there'll be no way that they can pin it on me. But, of course, Randy's having his party with his weed, and all hell breaks loose. People start turning into, like, plant things. There's weird shit going on with the barn, and then they call the police to get there. We get a Harvey Weinstein joke that is, like, the barest minimum. Like, it's there. I'm like, alright. Because evidently Harvey Weinstein was raping Randy. And then we get some kind of, like, at the end, oh, twist kind of shit. Oh, maybe he was there. It's like, whatever. It doesn't interest me. Wasn't really that funny because there really wasn't any execution there. No real punchline. It was just there. I'm like, it's almost like you go into a room and here's a plate. Here's the joke. Okay. And that's it. Alright. Cool. So the police go out there with Shelly and Butters, and Shelly is going to fix the situation by just putting random shit together, and you see that it's just Randy and Tally fucking freaking out in the field because of the weed. Because they see Pooh trying to kill him, fucking zombie-ass cows, plant people, and that's it. She just throws some shit on him, he fucking jukes down a little bit, and then that's about it. Then, of course, Butters has this coming to moment that's like, there's the mummy, he's not as bad as he seems, does it, you little asshole? Apologizes to the mummy and says, oh, I hope you do fix yourself, because I can't fix you, as the mummy drives off. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't. This is... No. Not interesting at all. Not fun at all. I'm bored. Move on. We then get to the end of the episode. Randy's woken up. He's like, oh, I must have slept in. What is it? 8:15. November 3rd. Oh, man, I was really freaking out about there. And then this, like, a fat bitchy angel put me to sleep. It's like, well, did you like your Halloween special? I was like, yeah. Seems like you're the only one. No, I was the target audience. I'm like, fine then. Cool. Your target audience of one person, pretty much Randy. That's it. Fine. He could have had fun. I didn't. It really didn't have any, like... Even though homages were just kind of there, I could only really equate this to like somebody just doing the barest minimum on homework to pass. And just being like, fine, that's cool. I'm like, no, you're better than this. You've done really great, awesome Halloween specials for South Park, and this was just bad. This is bad. Ugh, this season's really just kind of messed with how they do South Park, in my opinion. I'm like, something needs to fucking happen, because this was just... No, this is an example of what not to do. Exhibit A! Granted, there's a lot of exhibits in South Park's history, but, like, this was just... Oh. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.